It's always a great morning to be in Linda Vista. How is everybody? We have a great day to celebrate. I'm pleased to be joined this morning by my great colleague from the 7th Council District, Scott Sherman, Councilmember Sherman, Assemblymember Shirley Weber. And Shirley, I always forget the new numbers. What district are we in? The 79th. And most importantly, she is my parents' assembly member, so I'm glad to see her. And then, of course, a number of great leaders from our city staff, Tony Heinrichs, James Nagelvort, Park Lady Extraordinaire Stacy Lemetico, Walt Vasquez, a number of our friends from the San Diego Police Department. It's a great day for the city. It's a great day for Linda Vista. I'm happy to be here as your interim mayor. Just a quick couple of comments today. You know, this project is a wonderful improvement for Linda Vista, but this improvement is reflective of a attitude that Scott and I are trying to bring to City Hall, which is much more collaborative with the community and responsive to neighborhood concerns. And so it's my understanding that this project initially kind of had a smaller vision, and yet when we went to the community, it was you all, the folks who use this park, who live in this community every single day, that asked us to go a bit bigger in response to what the community needed. And so we're working with Park and Rec, with our public works staff. We have this great new picnic shelter, which of course is a wonderful addition to this very heavily used community park. In fact, I'm wondering why there are kids here right now. We have to ask them why they're not in school. But it shows you day, night, weekdays, weekends, this is always a busy park. And so that's why we needed to have not let's see, 4 picnic tables that we originally were thinking about, but the 10 that you all demanded. That it wasn't about one barbecue, which I can imagine that was going to cause some fights that Walt Vasquez is going to have to break up, but to have actually multiple barbecues, and that we have a roof over the picnic shelter because, you know, as much as we like our son, that can be problematic when you're trying to enjoy an afternoon with your family, and that matched our nearby restroom so that this all looked like a cohesive thing and not something built over time. This is exactly what we need to do more of. I think you've heard from myself and from our council that we want to rebuild our neighborhoods, that we have gone through this financial challenge at the city for about a decade, and then now as the city's finances are improving, we want to make investments in neighborhoods to fix the stuff we couldn't fix when we were dealing with our financial challenges, and the way that we're going to do that is hand in hand with the community. So to the community residents who are here, particularly I want to acknowledge Doug Beckham, who always is very involved in all things Linda Vista. There he is. How could I miss you, as tall as you are? I know that you represent a number of people here in the community, and I appreciate every Linda Vista leader who's been a part of this effort. So with those introductory comments, I'm glad I went before her, because any of you who've ever heard our assembly member speak, you're about to go to church. And she is a wonderful, wonderful assembly member. She's doing a great job representing San Diego and other parts of our region up in Sacramento. Please put your hands together for Assembly Member Shirley Weber.
Good morning. One more time. Good morning.
Good morning.
Even when the sun is not out, it's a good morning in San Diego. I am truly, truly honored to be here this morning to see this. One of the great things about being your assembly member in Sacramento is that I have great communities. This is 79th is probably the most diverse community in San Diego, and has tremendous value for communities, for individuals, community councils. It's a vibrant community, and everywhere I go, people love living in the 79th. They love their neighborhoods. This is important to me because, you know, the first place I lived in San Diego when I moved here was Linda Vista. I lived in Linda Vista, right down Linda Vista Road in one of the apartment complexes, and I got the chance to really see this very vibrant community. It was truly a military community at the time in the early 70s, but it was a great community. Had a little bit of everybody in it, and I enjoyed living in Linda Vista, and so it really set the tone for me to be here, to be obviously a part of the San Diego community over 40 years, and to recognize the value of what you do. I always say we can do great things in Sacramento, but it always stops short. We always talk about the gap, standing in the gap, and what stands in the gap between us and the resources we have are communities. Communities like this who decide that they're going to work together to make a difference, to put all the entities together and to do something great like this. So I just really applaud you for that, for always keeping Linda Vista alive, because I can remember the good times and when we were kind of going down in Linda Vista, but the community, those of you who've lived here forever, kept it alive, kept rebuilding, kept reinventing yourself, and keeping this community vibrant and alive. And so I'm always excited when I drive up and down Linda Vista Road to see how we continue to grow and to develop. I want to call forward your council, your member here from your Linda Vista Council, because you can't go anywhere in Sacramento without having some kind of resolution. And I'm not going to read it to you, but it really is a certificate of recognition. I want to call Doug to come forward and accept this on behalf of the Assembly District for the Linda Vista Council for this picnic shelter that's so wonderful, so beautiful, and really reflective of how wonderful you are and how much you care about this community and the families in this community that continue to make Linda Vista. So once again, I'm just really proud to be here, be a part of this celebration and the opening of this shelter that's going to really be here forever, because it is made of some sturdy stuff. And it's not, I told them, it's not some of that cheap stuff we put together that blows away with the wind. It will be here when we are long gone, and they will know that this is an important part of this community. So thank you so very much for inviting me. I'm really proud of Linda Vista. Always happy to be a part of it. Thank you.
I didn't lie to you, did I? Assemblymember Weber always delivers. You know we're well served by her when you have an advocate as fierce as Shirley Weber. Shirley, thanks for joining us this morning. I want to give you another fierce advocate for Linda Vista. I've served on the council for about 5 years now. I've seen a lot of council members, and I want to let the people of Linda Vista know you have a great council member in Scott Sherman. Please welcome the District 7 council member, Scott Sherman.
Thank you on very kind words, and hopefully I can live up to them over the rest of my term. So, Linda Vista is a neighborhood that with redistricting and that type of thing that, quite frankly, I didn't know a whole lot about when it came time to be sworn into office. So therefore, Linda Vista became my #1 priority in getting things done in this neighborhood. I didn't have a whole lot to do with the shelter behind us. This process started in 2004. And here we are in 2013 when it was finally completed. That's a lot of dedication from a lot of people in the community. Quite frankly, I know a lot of people who would have given up and said enough's enough and just gone away with their business. But it shows the dedication and the commitment you all have to Linda Vista, and I applaud you for it. It's an amazing effort. And there's one thing that we learned is we need to speed up some of the processes in the community and at City Hall so we can get projects done like this in a more timely manner. Like I said, a lot of this didn't have a lot to do with my office, just to make sure that it did happen once we got here. But there are a couple people that we do need to thank. Planning and Design Committee for this wonderful structure we see behind us. Margarita Castro, Yvette Belcher, Albert Belcher, and God bless her, Melinda Appling. Melinda's no longer with us, but she was a stalwart member of this community. I said I didn't know much about Linda Vista, but the one thing I do know is how much the people here cared about her. Wish I got up to know her better. Sounds like she's a very good lady. She was Linda Vista Planning Group, Linda Vista Recreation Council, Kashinda Drum and Dance Group. She saved Skate World Day, the Linda Vista Family Reunion. Linda started in 2009. Currently in its 5th year, and I think that's your #1 fundraiser for the community here. All of that was because Melinda and what's behind us here. So just a special word of praise and thanks for her dedication. I'm glad to see this getting dedicated, glad to see the youth being here. And, Melinda worked a bunch about Skate World, and just to let the residents know on another issue, as of a vote yesterday, it looks like we're probably in line for some grant funding to build a skate park here at the Linda Vista Rec Center. And then lastly, in the coming months, the name of this picnic shelter will be dedicated the Melinda Appling Memorial Pavilion. So just to let you know. Thank you all very much. Thank you for being here. And now that it's finally built, let's make sure we put it to a lot of good use. Thank you.
Don't let Scott sell himself short. He's a humble man. They say about still waters run deep. This man works hard every day for you all. And this project, he might have come in late in the story, but it got done on Scott Sherman's watch. And you're going to see a lot more get done in Linda Vista because he's your council member. I want to introduce you now to the world's best park and recreation director. I will put that up on any Voice of San Diego fact check. You all know her. You love her. She does great work for our city. Stacy LaMedica.
Okay, now that I'm completely red, I just wanted to say a few words, first of all, to Mayor Todd Gloria, who has been a supporter. Like he said, he's been on the council for 5 years. He's been an extreme supporter of Park and Rec and community, and he knows that parks build communities, and he has lived that message, and it's an honor to work with him and his staff. I would like to also thank Councilmember Lori Zaff, who started this process, her and her staff. We have a member here today that is here representing the office. They shook a little trees and got us moving a little bit when things got a little stale, and we greatly appreciate her support and continued support. And I would have to agree with Mayor Gloria about Scott Sherman, very modest. He has made some significant efforts through his office and the assistance of the other council members to streamline the capital improvement project as recommended by Tony and his staff, and that has gone a long way to help these types of projects move forward, and I really do appreciate his support and his staff's support. He kind of does that behind the scenes, so don't let him, his soft voice, kid you. I would also like to thank two other groups of people. One and foremost, my staff who are here each and every day at all levels, who come out and provide recreational programs and support for the communities throughout the city, often under difficult situations, often with little praise or effort. They do it because it's a passion, and I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for their efforts. So I would like for them to just kind of wave. Kathy Ruiz, Deputy Director. We have Ira Petrone, your Center Director. Kelly Wood, Area Manager. We also have Albert. Albert is here from the Grants Office. It was the Grants Office who wrote a federal grant who assisted us, Land and Water Conservation Fund grant to assist us with this. And second, I would like to thank the Rec Council members who are always here, who understand what it's like to be in the trenches, who bring out their passion for this community and make sure that they're here advising us on what's important. I tell people this all the time, and this is something that's so important. We are stewards of this park system. We take the principles and guide through what the city council policies are on recreational programs citywide. But each community is different, and it's up to the community members to help advise us and guide us, such as a bigger picnic shelter. Don't put it in the back of the park. It won't work. Put it in the front of the park, right, Marguerite? You're not giving us what we want. It's that understanding that's so important that makes this park a wonderful park. So thank you. Thank you to Doug as well. And finally, PD, who stands over there just so quietly. They are unsung heroes, the men and women of PD. We could not do it without them. Our staff rely on them each and every day, and we thank you for the service that the men and women of PD bring to us. And with that, thank you.
I told you she's the best. Now, I appreciate Stacy pointing out that Kenny's here from Council District 6. Kenny, please take back our appreciation to Councilmember Zaff. I know she represented this neighborhood very well for many years. I also want to acknowledge Kimberly Ricci from my staff who's here. Can we give a wave? You all have your very own Linda Vista Mayor's Rep, and she's here, and I know she's doing a great job. Now it's my pleasure to introduce the citizen component of our program, Doug Beckham. You all know him because he's everywhere at all times for Linda Vista, and he really speaks on behalf of many of the residents here as a part of course, our Linda Vista Rec Council. Doug?
We have a lot of people here to thank, and I know I'm going to miss somebody. First of all, the chair of this committee, Margarita, and I know what she went through because she reported in to me, and I just shook my hands a couple of times, but we just kept plugging away. And like you say, we got the extra picnic tables, we got a lighted facility, we got a promise from our great San Diego PD that they'll keep an eye on our gazebo, just like they do our whole park. I talked to the neighbors, I talked to the owners that live nearby here and let them know this is your park too. If there's problems here, pick up the phone, call PD, we'll handle it. People were worried about this alley here. I said, you're not supposed to drive faster than 15 miles an hour in this alley. And if people are driving faster, that becomes a police department program. But we got this great facility, and it's well used. I see people here almost every day. I come up here quite often. And I see Gary back here for Skate World. We got to give a place for the kids to play. We got a big park up here, Kearney Mesa Park, still in Linda Vista. This park and Tecolote Park that's actually still in Linda Vista, but we just have one rec console, and we consider this the village. And this is almost the center of the village. Now we're working on a skate park, and we have many people here, and I know our council members committed to it, and I talked to the staff. Everybody's committed to it, but it's just, let's not get the cart before the horse, because we got to raise some money. And you all know, and tell you how many years it took there. This went all the way back with Donna Fry that gives CDBG money to this to get it started. It had to go through the engineering phase. Both Kelly and Ira have been on board since day one to make this project what it is for our citizens. They're going to be using it. And I see the commander here from American Legion here. He's on board. A lot of people from our community planning committee. Of course, the rec council people here. There's even some behind me. They don't like to be on the camera. And community planning, our partners from USD. And of course, my friend, Melinda Appling. Now, I used to run with her brother, and the family name was Dudley. And me and Johnny, we hung around the center, went to Linda Theater, different places that we did stuff, but you know, everybody always came to the rec center. We played a lot of softball here, a lot of soccer. But Melinda took this kind of fundraising on her own. She whispered to a few people, and I go, it sounds like a good idea, Melinda. You just got to come and present it to the rec council, and the rec council listened to it. They had a lot of questions. Well, overall, in 5 years, she raised $16,000 for the rec council, and she did a lot of it by herself. I know she did a lot of fundraisers right up here, Padre Gold, the American Legion, and a lot of people helped. And, you know, if I had to thank everybody, I'd be here for quite a while, and I don't like to be this long-winded. But let's just remember that one person made a big difference, and that's who it's named after, Melinda Appling Memorial Pavilion. And thank you.
Thank you, Doug. Thank you for being a representative for our neighborhood. Again, we want to make these better collaborations between the city and our neighborhood. Last, but certainly not least, is our city engineer. Now, that may sound like a boring title, but this is not a boring guy. James does really great work in every neighborhood of the city, helping to deliver quality projects like this one. James, give us a few words.
All right, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Good morning, everybody. Probably the reason why it's built with such materials that are going to last is because it's my job to enforce standards and that, so I wouldn't deviate that. But I have the honor of thanking the staff behind the scenes that actually made this project possible. So before I do that, I do want to thank the Rec Council. Without your support, it's almost impossible to get projects done like this. I want to thank all of our mayor, our council member, the assemblywoman, all of the politicians. We need your support, and we get it often to be able to deliver our capital improvement program. But also I want to thank the client. Park and Rec is one of my favorite clients because Stacy tells me so. I'm kidding. And her staff, and Andy and Kathy and Ira Patron, we really appreciate your help. And I have not met the individual that took care of the grant, but we always need money, so we certainly appreciate the grant funds. In my staff, the people that actually manage the project, from the project management staff, I want to thank Kevin Oliver and Anna Della Rincon. They provide the project management and the design services. Thank you very much. Back there. On our construction management staff, we have George Kassar, Fami Rakani, and also Terry Kipnis, who manage the construction side of it. Thank you very much. We want to thank Kathleen. She's our consultant. She's from Land Design Collaborative, and who actually did a phenomenal job. So Kathleen, thank you very much. And the gentleman standing back there with the hat on and the sunglasses from Ramona Paving Construction, Sean, we want to thank you for building it, because at the end of the day, we can get our job right, but it won't really matter if someone doesn't actually build it. And so we certainly really, really appreciate it. So everyone involved, thank you very, very much. It's a great day. Appreciate it.
Pretty cool guy, right? All right, this is the moment you've been waiting for. We're going to do the ribbon cutting. You guys insisted this thing be as big as possible so everyone can be in the picture. If you had a role in it, I want you in that photo. This is your day. And I'll just end by saying, San Diego is different from other communities because we're a city of neighborhoods. We are a community that is defined by different neighborhoods. We are great because of our neighborhoods. This is a great day for Linda Vista. That makes it a great day for our city. And I'm glad that you all could be here to be a part of it. Thank you all very much.